Suzuki are so well known for their small cars, and they have a massive range actually of small cars nowadays in South Africa. The Celerio, the little hatchback in the range, and I've always thought of it as the Swift's baby brother. Well, the latest generation Cererio that was launched very recently is even more a baby Swift in so many ways. But you take a look at the front over here, you can see it's even got the chrome bar across the grille, just like the latest Swift. You've got the very interesting sort of teardrop effect on the headlights over here. And in GL spec, you've even got fog lights down below over there. Quite a low lip spoiler as well at the front. All sort of add up to a nice effect. Very short bonnet, which is sort of typical of Suzuki. Because of course, compact little engines as well, you don't need a big bonnet, do you? And you come round on the side over here. GL trim again. You get GA and GL spec. GL gives you the black mag wheels, 15 inches. They fill the arches quite nicely. Not big wheels, but you don't need on a little car like this. You come along on the side over here. Let's take a look and press the little button, unlock the car, and let's take a look in the back seat. And I'll jump in quickly myself. As always, take into account driver's seat set for me. And this is pretty impressive legroom in the back for a little car of this type. Headroom, again, I cannot complain about the headroom for myself with my hat on. It's got a decent amount of space. Unusual, if you look at the center here, can't quite call it a center console, but electric window switches for the back windows in the middle over here. Very unusual, kind of different, but so what? Doesn't matter, does it? And a very good feature that I must point out to you is ISOFIX on the outer two rear seats. Something that was lacking on the previous version as well. So important and nice to see. Another fact that I've noted over here is following on from Ignis. Do you notice how wide the back doors open? Almost 90 degrees. And that's something that very few cars do, but it makes the entry and exit from the rear so much easier. Come round to the back now quickly and let's have a look. And this is the angle that really, really makes me think of Swift and not Cererio. To me, it's got a bit wider, it's got a bit more squat in a way, if you can call it that, and I just see Swift over here. Pop open the boot. You'll see you've got your shelf, which is nice, very deep. So very high loading lip. Keep in mind if you're going to load goods. Under the boot board, you've got a space saver spare wheel. Not my favorite, but at least it is a spare wheel, so let's just leave it at that. And your rear seats do split 60-40 to fold down, which strangely these days, some cars don't even offer you. So I think that is an important factor. Rear park distance control on this car, so you've got the beepers. Such a small car, I think that's more than enough. And interesting treatment on the rear lights, the way they cut into the tailgate over there. Just a very neat effect overall. It's a small car, it's a light car, but it doesn't pretend to be anything else. Under the bonnet, you've got Suzuki's proven, and it's carried over from the previous generation, 1 litre 3-cylinder petrol engine, 49 kilowatts, 89 Newton meters of torque. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're not carrying a lot of weight, it's more than enough. Let's jump in and check it out. On the road, of course, this engine is buzzy, and I'll show you what I mean. It's a typical 3-cylinder buzzy little engine, but it thrives on that and enjoys that, and it loves that little bit of being revved even, because that's what these engines are known for, and it's the nature of this engine. But it's smooth, it's comfortable. You've got a 5-speed manual gearbox in this car. You do get a 5-speed automated manual option as well, if that's what you want and if that's what you prefer. Personally, I think this car is so light and easy to drive that I can't see the need for the automatic version, but at least Suzuki do make it available, and that's what really counts. The handling is pretty decent. It's not a racing car, it's not a sports car, but it holds the road pretty nicely, and it's very, very nippy. And as I said a moment ago, it is exceptionally light to drive, and that's what counts for most circumstances. But yeah, let's go up a bit of a hill and you'll hear what the buzz is really about. And I think you now get the picture of what I mean by a buzzy little engine. But it feels like fun, doesn't it, when you do that? You can't quite throw it around corners, but it's a city car, come on, give it a break. It's comfortable, from a driver's point of view it's easy, and just overall it certainly does fill its role in this market segment, and that is what is so important to me. And Suzuki are incredibly proud to tell you the fact that the Celerio is the cheapest range in South Africa that does include ESP as standard. So that is an important factor. Nice turning circle as well. My favorite spot to do a turn around, and you can see made it, no stops, no nothing, and nice and easy. So let's just now give it a bit of go again so that you can hear that little engine, and you'll see exactly what I mean about the car. But overall, it's actually got quite a fun factor to it when you're driving. Let me call it that. Didn't like that bump so much, but then again, Gauteng roads, what do you expect? At least no potholes right now. I should be grateful for that. Starting off behind the wheel as always, let's have a look. Now we've done a good bit of mileage on this test already. You've got, of course, the good old-fashioned push button to pick up what your trip meter is doing. We've done, call it 400 kilometers on this test, 396. Now remembering that this has only got a 32-litre tank, so it's not a big tank, but I want to show you 5.3 litres per 100 kilometers. Now I know Suzuki claimed lower than that, but this is a real-world figure. It includes William driving it, who always drives and uses far more fuel than I do, so take that into account as well. And remember that that is a major, major factor. Very important, I mentioned to you the ESP. Well, there's your ESP button. And that one next to it, something else that you do not expect on a little car at this market segment, is you even got auto stop start. Yep, on a little Cererio. So you've got that too. On the steering wheel, of course, you've got your controls over here and your phone controls below. Very standard, very normal, and no complaints. Now, of course, GA or GL comes the question. Mechanically identical, which one would you choose, as they say in the classics? Well, let's see which one you would choose, because if you go to GL, you get this very interesting screen, which gives you, of course, most importantly, Android Auto, Apple Carplay. But also look at that. There you go, gives you your fuel economy information over there. Instantaneous driving range, we've still got 140 kilometers in the tank, that average of 5.3 I mentioned to you. I think that's quite neat. Of course, your telephone if you want. Oh, the engine just decided to switch back on. Interesting. Of course, you've got there's your home screen, you've got phone, you've got connectivity. I said you've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. So those are very important. Come just below the screen, something unusual. I showed you the buttons for the rear windows. Well, the front windows are here too. You've got one touch down for the driver's window, but you've got to hold it for the to go back up. And your door locking. No locking on pull-off, but there you go. Press that button to lock your doors. Easy enough. Below that, you've got your air conditioning. Again, very simple, very straightforward. No problems. And then down here, you've got a 12-volt and your USB. So you've got what you need. And that's the most important, isn't it? I've mentioned that 5-speed manual gearbox. You've got the option of the automated manual if you want it. So those are choices only you can make and decide for yourself which one it is you'd rather have. It's so light and easy that really I don't find that a big deal either way. The dash is an interesting design. You can see how beautifully integrated the screen is, and that's important. Of course it's plastic. Let's not even discuss that. But you've got 2 airbags, you've got ABS brakes, you've got all those sort of features, and you've got these unusual sort of shelf effects over here. Just different, distinctive, and pretty neat. Space-wise, yes, it's a small car. Live with it, accept it, because that's what it is. And you're never going to get anything different to that, are you? But what you also get with it, of course, is Suzuki's 5-year, 200,000 kilometer warranty, and you get a 2-year, 30,000 kilometer service plan. What I do find interesting is that the lines between Celerio and Swift have become somewhat blurred in my book. And what I mean by that is that for this money, you could get a GL mid-spec Swift, which is a slightly bigger car, 1.2 litre engine instead of the little 1 litre, etc., etc. But you wouldn't get the screen and the connectivity. And that's what you're doing over here. You can get the GA version, which comes in at 175,000 Rand. Or this one, 195, with, as I said, the screen. You get the slightly different wheels and the mag wheels, for example, and you get on the screen your reverse, it's not a reverse camera, but there's your rear park distance control, nice and clear for you. So those are a lot of the features you get over and above for the extra 20,000 Rand. That is always a choice only you can make for yourself. I can't call that one, can I? Especially when the two versions are mechanically identical, and that's where the question mark comes in. That's up to you. Either way, you know you're getting a Suzuki, you know you're getting reliability, you know you're getting fantastic fuel economy. And those are things that count. So it's a case of what can you afford and what can you and can you not live with. And then you can make your choice. Obviously, the market has lots and lots of options at this category and at this price range. You come in with the bottom of the range, I have to call them the Hyundai Ethos. You've got over there, of course, Toyota. Well, they don't really have anything over here. They've got the Agya, which comes in at in fact, comes in at the same price range. Let me correct myself. And similar type engine, 1 litre, 3-cylinder as well. So yes, the Toyota Agya is definitely right here. My apologies for saying it wasn't. You've got that one. You've got a few others that are around, and you can think Kia Picanto comes to mind as well. It's a market segment you need to do your homework and check out. But you can never escape the fact that Suzuki are absolute leaders when it comes to smaller cars. Your choice. For Motor Matters, I'm Eleanor. I'll see you next time.